everyone and welcome back on CG Blast channel. So today I'm here with a couple of tips for you. So you want to find a job in the animation industry? I have a couple of tips for you. So first of all, there are a lot of schools that you can attend and that you can find on the web. So I have a video where I talk about this, and you can find a link in the description, where basically my advice is try to avoid the public schools, because with public schools you can learn a lot of things. You can learn how to animate, you can learn how to model, render, and so on. But when you get out of school, you basically have a little knowledge of everything, and it's not really enough if you want to compete with the world. In the last 10 or 15 years, the competition has grown so much in this industry that it's really hard to get into important studios. You can find a lot of academies, schools, private schools, online schools, but the one that I always recommend is Animation Mentor. This is a school that I attended in 2011-2012, and that really helped me grow with my skills and find a job before graduating and of course after graduating. You can find a lot of schools online like Anim Squad, iAnimate, Anim School, and so on. But of course, if you want to attend a school on site, there are schools like the Vancouver Film School or maybe the San Francisco Academy of Art, and which are really expensive, because of course you need to think about paying the course and then getting a house in rent, getting food, and all the things that come with it. So I have 4 tips for you. Tip number 1, try to not become a CGI generalist. Like I said before, if you become a generalist, you can find a job in a company, that's for sure, but it's always gonna be difficult for you to compete yourself worldwide, because the skills of many people are so high in every single department, and it's always going to be difficult for you to get in. So my advice is focus and choose one department and go for it. Tip number 2, finish your school before accepting any kind of job. I know that your goal is to find a job and maybe get out of home. You're living with your parents and you want to have your life, but my advice is finish school, do it well, and then accept any kind of job offer you will have. When I was at Animation Mentor, I had the possibility to have my first job while I was studying, but I realized that it was better to finish school and have enough skills to then compete worldwide, or at least in a more big situation, than leaving school or trying to bring on both things that would have given me less a possibility to become better in my animation skills. Because try to imagine this, if you study and work at the same time, you're always gonna come back home in the late evening that you are maybe tired and you don't want to get again in front of the computer, and it's gonna be difficult to learn skills like animation when you come back home and you're already tired. So my advice is finish school first. Tip number 3, try to aim for big companies. If you work in small companies or small studios, it's always gonna be less competitive, and it's always gonna be difficult for you to maybe reach a high level, because maybe in those small studios the quality that they deliver is so low that you cannot put your material into a demo reel to show it to bigger studios. So my advice is try to aim from immediately to big studios, so that you can from there grow and reach every time bigger and better studios. Tip number 4, like I said, I really recommend schools like Animation Mentor, iAnimate, Anim School, and so on, because our online schools, so you can study from home and you can just spend what you need to spend for the course, and that's all, so that you don't need to think about a house rent or getting food, maybe on the other side of the world if you need to go away from your country, and you can imagine that. So maybe you would be wondering, man, I don't have enough money to pay a school like Animation Mentor, so what can I do? Well, you can see that online there are a lot of artists who had created online schools privately that I can give you a couple of informations in the descriptions so that you can study, for instance, animation, which is my department, and study with artists who work with important companies. Tip number 5 is related to tip number 4, which is if you don't have enough money, you can study privately, but try to choose a mentor or a private school that has a good curriculum. That means that if you decide to study with a private mentor, go see where he works. Try to see his demo reel. Try to see what is actually his experience. Because if you choose any kind of mentor that works in animation, for instance, or is a modeler but works in a small studio, well, maybe he can bring you to that same level. But what I would recommend you to do is to try to find someone who is better and has better curriculum, better skills, that work with a good company, so that he can give you the right tips and give you the right knowledges so that you can compete with that kind of world. So I hope that this video can be helpful for you guys to understand that it's always better to aim to top level situations, to top level studios if you want to work in CGI. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe in order to be always updated with the new videos. If you have any kind of questions, leave a comment below or contact me privately. Take care and see you on another video. Ciao!